Elle. Oh, welcome back to the Little Bloom Library. This is going to be a super short video. I just really wanted to make one for the 25th. It's not the 25th, it's the 15th. The 15th of November to say that we're at 25,000 words today. I didn't move my little froggy because there's not actually room for him on the 15th because of the text that I have there. But because it is our halfway point, I really just wanted to get online so fast and just say, we've made it to the halfway point. This is excellent. We are doing so well. I am so proud of everyone who is participating in NaNoWriMo, regardless of whether or not you have reached 25,000 words, whether or not you have finished your novels already, whether or not you're just kind of writing for the sake of writing and not worrying too much about it. But as a, I was about to say reward, as a little treat, shall we say, for the day 15 halfway point, I thought that I would read to you guys my prologue that I wrote. With the full disclaimer that I have not looked at this since November 1st, have not reread it at all since, and likely there are going to be some issues with it grammatically and all of that goodness. But I thought maybe that I would do that as a cute little, we've made it to the halfway point kind of treat. So I'm going to go ahead. This is a much more chill. This feels like I'm streaming right now, actually, but this is a much more chill video. So I have moved the camera over to my other monitor, actually, and I'm going to just read you my prologue, and I hope you guys like what I have so far. So without further ado, the prologue of The Darkest Corners. It started with a young woman, as many stories do. This one, however, wasn't the prelude to a happily ever after story. Well, not according to me, at least. Take any stranger off the street and ask them if they think this is a good thing, and I'd wager you'd get a yes within the first 3 people you ask. But most of them, I'd also wager, would be humans. Yes, those pesky critters that don't actually live that long, so of course this young woman would be a beacon of sorts. It would make them hope. But I don't think there's anything hopeful about the way things are going. As I was saying, it started with a young woman. She was sickly, this woman, on her deathbed, in fact, destined to die at the ripe old age of 25 without hardly having lived her life at all. Of course, her family and friends drew near, whispering sweet nothings to her, promises that would never come true, hopes and dreams that she would never get the opportunity to fulfill, the usual. And yet, even though the healers told her family that she would die within a few days' time, that time came and went. The family praised the gods, obviously. They thought this was some sort of miracle, that their darling girl had been saved from this destructive disease. And the days turned into weeks, turned into 2 months, and still the girl didn't die. Yet she showed little sign of improvement either. She was bedridden still, laying in her cot with skin stretched taut against fragile bones beneath. The sweat never left her brow. Her hair continued to fall out in clumps until there was none of it left, and she looked, for all the world, like a corpse. The only thing separating the two was that she still had breath in her lungs and blood in her heart. What had been considered a miracle slowly became a curse. Their darling child wasn't thriving. She hadn't healed at all, in fact. Instead, it was like she had paused in time, suffering in a state just before death would have taken her. Death, it seems, would have been far more merciful. But people don't like to think of stories like that. No, they would rather think about the 5-year-old boy who had fallen out of a tree, a fall that should have snapped his neck, and yet it didn't. People like to think about the mother who should have drowned, saving her eldest daughter from the river, and yet somehow made it back to shore. People like to think about the grandmother who is able to see her grandchildren when old age should have taken her months ago. The father who should have watched his wife die in childbirth, but somehow she did not. People don't like to talk about that child, how it's been years now, and yet it still looks as fresh as the day it was born. They don't like to think about the sickly who were not fortunate enough to die before this miracle struck. They don't like to think about that grandmother who had spent her time on this earth and found herself ready to go, but now she couldn't. People pushed instead the idea that this was good. The gods were gone, but so was death. So that is my prologue. I, rereading it, actually think it kind of slaps. So I hope you guys enjoyed this really small short form video. I am not going to edit this at all, so enjoy this completely unedited content. I will see you guys again next time for another NaNoWriMo video. Congratulations on making it to the 15th of November. Keep writing regardless of where you find yourselves at the moment, regardless of what your word count is. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We're all just writers coming together to experience NaNoWriMo together. So, like I said, I will see you guys next time. And until then, peace out, guys, and happy writing.